Hey, welcome back. Riggs here. How you doing today? I'm doing good. Good. Thanks. 114 just been out a couple of weeks now. Still has the new car smell on it, and I've been really enjoying all the new features. Here I am in my 114 test world. But as a thank you to 350 subscribers now, which I really appreciate, I have put together a full expansion. So Mojang, if you're listening, I got this. Okay, just stay tuned, and you can just make it happen, and it'll be great. So it's called Minecraft 115: The Dark, and so the idea is improvements to some areas that haven't been worked on in a while, the Nether specifically, and underground. So some big Nether upgrades, including some Nether villages and some other Nether biomes, including the possibility for some sort of like water in the Nether. It's an idea. And then underground biomes, including Fungus Caverns, Slime Caverns, Phosphorescent Caverns, and then some new uses for the Nether Star and some beacon upgrades. And I think all of this ties in pretty well together to some ideas which I will talk about. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy. And spoiler alert, a lot of my ideas revolve around eliminating the need for torch spam. And even though it can be lantern spam now, which is definitely nicer, it would be nice to not need this. And so I have solved that problem in a few creative ways. Hope you agree. So they haven't changed the Nether in a really long time. And one of the things I was thinking would make it interesting would be to have some Nether-based villages. And perhaps they could be kind of close to Nether fortresses the same way that outposts are close to villages now. And maybe they would start out neutral, kind of like pigmen. If you attack one of them, they would all attack you. But maybe if you kill enough of the creatures nearby in the Nether fortress, they're kind of reputation based, you could unlock some trades with them. Which of course leads to the question, what would their trades be? And my thinking was, maybe they'd have different professions with different interests, but as a starting point, they would take your quartz and trade you for emeralds, and then they would be able to trade blaze rods and nether wart. Those are a couple of the things you're definitely looking to get out of the Nether. But then I was thinking they would have some special trades, and instead of these worthless emeralds, what they would really want would be a brand new drop from wither skeletons. And it would be a sort of a common drop from wither skeletons. I don't know if you've spent any time farming wither skulls, but every time you kill one of these guys, you get a piece of coal, which makes you think you got a skull, which is kind of annoying. So I was thinking there'd be a brand new drop from wither skeletons, maybe keys. If these guys are the workers of the fortress, maybe the wither skeletons would be the masters. And the trades that they would give you would be Nether-only crops. Stop pushing me. And the thought is that it would be an end game food. There would be food plus potion effects. And when you harvest the crops, they would not drop seeds, and they could only be grown and harvested in the Nether. Crops in the Nether, you say? Well, part of my idea would be that there would be these biomes in the Nether that would have kind of organic growth going on. So I thought it'd be much more interesting to have some certain areas to look for in the Nether instead of just the Nether fortresses. And so as part of that, and I'll get back to the crops in a second, would be this acid. This is water in a swamp, but I was thinking, what would crops be hydrated with in the Nether? If water evaporates, I don't know. I'm just going with acid because it's kind of dangerous. But I was thinking you could have buckets of acid that would be sort of like lava in that they wouldn't replicate themselves. Obviously with water you can get an infinite water source going, but they would be a finite resource, kind of like lava, and they would behave. Acid would behave. I'm in the overworld here. It would behave like water. Essentially, it would allow you to do some item transport in the Nether. And one of the things that you could kind of add to it would be that it might do damage to you if you stand in it, kind of like lava, but maybe not as dangerous. But it was a thought I had to one of the big drawbacks to having a base in the Nether is that you can't have any kind of crops going on, and you can't have any kind of water-based item transport, which makes things kind of difficult. So soil hydrated by acid is the idea, and maybe the villagers could also trade for the buckets of acid as well. So just to clarify, I was thinking these buckets of acid would be things that you could trade with the Nether villagers for, or you could find rarely these pools of acid in the Nether. And the acid could hydrate regular soil, so you could maybe grow overworld crops in the Nether if you wanted to do an entirely Nether-based base. But then I was thinking for the Nether crops, you would need a special kind of soil that maybe you could find in these little Nether biomes, or maybe that you could also trade those with the villagers. And then the Nether food would be kind of a new end game food that would give you saturation, but then also some potion effects. So, 2 minutes of fire resistance, and the seeds would not replicate. So it'd be something you'd have to put some effort into farming. But I thought that would be a kind of a fun new end game food in the game. So in the last few years, we've gotten changes to the oceans, we've gotten new biomes, we've gotten new mobs and all kinds of fun things, but underground has been kind of the same for a long time. You have some ravines and some mine shafts to look for, but what if there were some actual useful little biomes to be searching for underground? So my first thought was a phosphorescent or a naturally glowing cavern that would be maybe not quite as common as slime chunks, but when you find them, you'd find these glowing lichens, and also these new mobs would spawn. These are blazes, but there'd be a new glowing mob, and you could get glowing dust from the mobs or maybe these lichens, and then the idea is that you could then apply that glow dust to a block and give that block a tag of glowing, sort of like waterlogged blocks. These are waterlogged blocks, which is how the lichen are still alive. But yeah, you could then make any block into a light source. And so instead of the torch spam across a big field, you could just tap the glow dust on a few pieces of grass blocks and eliminate the need to have that torch spam all over the place. So the next idea I had were slime caverns. And slime is more important than ever now with all the slime block mechanics, all the slime stone flying machines and everything. Stop pushing me. Slime can be really hard to find if you don't live near a swamp, or if you don't put all the effort into making a slime farm in a slime chunk. You could be kind of stuck trying to scrape together enough slime to make a few sticky pistons. So I was thinking if there were these slime caverns, that would appear every now and then, you could get a few slime blocks out of it. Maybe not quite this many in each one, but it would be something to be looking for and do some more exploring underground, which I think would be fun. My next thought was a fungus cavern. And I was thinking about mushroom biomes and how nice it is that you can have them completely dark and nothing will spawn there. So I was thinking in these fungus caverns, you could find this new kind of mycelium and a new kind of fungus that you could use kind of in the same way that you make mossy stone bricks by combining vines and stone bricks. You could add this new fungus to blocks, and maybe just stone bricks, but maybe other kinds of blocks, and you would give them a moldy tag. And maybe they would look a little different, maybe not, but they would be not spawnable. And that would allow you to have some dark areas in your base and not have the potential creeper blowing all your stuff up. So you remember beacons? They haven't changed in forever. So I was thinking a little buff would be if there were some new effects that required a 2x2. If you have 4 beacons all right next to each other, you could get some new effects. And one of the things that is kind of annoying, especially with the new scaffolding, is when you have items that fall just past you and you have to go down and get them, especially if there's precious items. So I was thinking the first effect could be a magnet, which would make things pop into your inventory from a bigger radius away. I thought that'd be really useful. The next idea I'm not super sure about, but I was thinking, what if there was almost like a little bit of a creative mode in a very small radius over a 4 stack of beacons? If you're building in an area, maybe you could almost like hop up into air blocks and then slowly fall back down. So you couldn't just float up in air forever, but it would give you a way of kind of hopping up and doing something for a build. And then the third idea I had, kind of going along with this not needing lighting everywhere idea, was a radius of no mob spawning with no light needed. Wouldn't that be nice if you're kind of in the end game and you have a bunch of beacons to not have to worry about lighting up every square inch of your base? I thought that would be really nice. And they haven't made any changes to beacons in a long time. And I thought that'd be a nice new reason to go and farm some more beacons. And it occurred to me that, Nether Stars are only used to make beacons, which are one of the end game items. But what if there were some other end game items that solved some problems? And one of the problems that everybody runs into is not enough bag space. So what if you used a Nether Star to make cargo pants? Use the Nether Star as a belt buckle, and that would maybe double your inventory. That'd be a great new kind of end game item that you could use a Nether Star for. And then the last couple of ideas for Nether Stars, I was thinking about a building wand. Sort of in the same way where you can use scaffolding so easily. What if you had a building wand in your offhand, and then any other block could be placed in the same way, so that you could do some seriously easy building kind of that way, using a building wand? I thought that'd be great. And then the last idea I had was, what if there was a crafting recipe for Elytra using a Nether Star and Phantom Membrane? I think it's been out in the game long enough. Sometimes finding those end cities can be super painful, but that'd be something you could farm without having to just explore endless end islands. I think that'd be a nice solution. So what do you think? Minecraft 1.15 The Dark? Hope you enjoyed. Put some thought into this one. But I think it all kind of hangs together pretty nicely. It gives you some good reasons to go explore the Nether and underground, and gives you some interesting things to find, as well as some nice end game items to work towards, and hopefully some creative solutions to the constant need for having light everywhere. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been really enjoying 1.14. It's still a little buggy, isn't it? But I think they're working it out. But we will see you soon. This has been Riggs. Until next time, love you guys. Bye-bye.